Chosen one. Stop scrolling. Heaven has waited exactly 2 hours for you to arrive at this very moment. Every notification, every distraction, every detour, it was all divinely delayed so that your spirit would be still enough to hear this. You are not late. You are right on heaven's schedule. The pause was not punishment. The silence was not absence. It was strategy. For 2 hours, heaven stood between seconds, watching how your heart responded to waiting. You felt the stillness pressing against your chest, didn't you? That heaviness wasn't anxiety, it was divine weight. You were under observation, not by men, but by the eyes of the Almighty. While you thought nothing was happening, everything was. Angels were stationed, warnings were forming. The word was being written and sealed with your name upon it, Chosen One. Listen carefully. The delay you felt was a test, not of time, but of trust. Heaven wanted to see if you could still believe when nothing was moving. The truth is, your life has been a rhythm of almost healed, almost promoted, almost free. But tonight, heaven whispers, no more almosts. The 2-hour silence has ended, and your instructions have been released. The Spirit of God is saying, you are being measured in the waiting. While others rushed ahead, you stood in stillness, and that posture became your proof of obedience. Many do not understand that divine timing often feels like divine ignoring, but it isn't. It is the language of heaven: delays that protect, pauses that prepare. Listen, Chosen One. While you waited, something invisible shifted. The investigator who sought to expose you found himself being exposed. The same gaze he turned toward you was reflected back upon him. Heaven took your silence and turned it into surveillance. Every accusation, every whisper, every hidden scheme that was plotted against you began to unravel in the waiting. There is a mystery and stillness that darkness cannot comprehend. When you stop moving but keep believing, heaven moves on your behalf. The 2-hour window was the war room of your destiny. God was orchestrating movements you couldn't see, people being repositioned, conversations being delayed, truth being revealed at the perfect second. You may not understand why heaven didn't speak sooner, but look deeper. God waited because the investigator's mask had not yet slipped. Had he spoken too early, you might have warned the wrong people, trusted the wrong voice, or forgiven the wrong betrayal. The 2-hour silence was not neglect. It was a trap for the deceiver. As you sat in confusion, the divine recorders took note of every moment you chose faith over frustration. That patience became prophetic evidence. Your endurance wrote your vindication. Heaven does not operate in minutes, it moves in meaning. Chosen One. I tell you this with fire in my voice, you were never forgotten. The Lord watched you replay old conversations, question your worth, and whisper into the void. God, are you still there? He was. He simply needed to wait until the clock struck his appointed moment. And now, heaven speaks. The 2-hour mark has passed. The veil is lifting. You are about to witness why God waited. You will soon see that what looked like divine delay was actually divine defense. He waited to reveal your enemy so that when he blesses you, no one can say it was luck. Listen again, this is your moment of awareness. Your spirit is being awakened. God has aligned this word with the rhythm of your heart. The warning is not for fear, it is for focus. Something sacred is being uncovered, and you are meant to see it. And you are. It is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 31. But they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. That is your sign, Chosen One. You have not been grounded, you have been gathering strength. The silence stretched your wings. The stillness prepared your flight. When heaven delays, it is because heaven intends for you to rise higher than before. So breathe. The investigation is not your concern, and your obedience is. Keep your eyes lifted, for God is about to exchange your weariness for wisdom. You're waiting for wings. You are being ushered into a revelation that was hidden for the faithful. If this word reaches the core of your soul, let heaven know that you received it. Tap the heart. Share this message so others awaken too. And subscribe so that you never miss the words meant for the chosen. Then, as a prophetic act, comment the number 777, for it represents divine completion. Let the algorithm become an altar of testimony that heaven's delay never meant denial. The 2-hour silence is over. The next sound you hear will be destiny opening its door. The silence broke, yet the air still trembled with mystery. Chosen one. You began to notice it, how everything around you carried an echo. Footsteps that weren't yours. Conversations that seemed to trail your name in whispers. It wasn't paranoia. It was perception sharpening. Heaven had awakened your discernment. There was someone watching, not through screens, but through spirits. The investigator had risen. Not a detective of earth, but a seeker cloaked in curiosity. Driven not by truth, but by fear of it. This being, human or spiritual, set out to understand what made you different. Why your resilience defied logic. Why your peace disturbed chaos. Why your name kept appearing in rooms you had never entered. But the investigator did not realize that in examining you, they had stepped into divine jurisdiction. You see, when you are chosen, even your shadows are under divine surveillance. Your sighs are recorded, your tears are measured, and your battles are witnessed by heaven itself. Nothing about you is hidden from God, and therefore nothing about those who seek to harm you can remain hidden for long. The one who set out to uncover you will soon be uncovered. For now, you are meant to stay still, to watch, to listen. Every whisper that reaches your spirit is a clue, not of their power, but of their panic. They feel exposed simply by your presence. Your light unsettles them because it reveals motives they spent years disguising. You carry something pure, something they can't reproduce. And so, they investigate. They study your words, your reactions, your silence. They take notes in the shadows. But listen carefully. Heaven is not alarmed. The Spirit of God is not pacing in worry. This investigation is not a threat, it is an opportunity. For while they watch you, heaven watches them. Every question they ask, every motive they hide, is being logged in the archives of eternity. God never allows His chosen to be observed without purpose. There is a divine reason behind this surveillance exposure. You are being refined, not ruined. Every time you feel misunderstood or misrepresented, remember this truth: your life is a living classroom. Those who approach you out of curiosity are about to learn what cannot be studied: the favor of the anointed. It is a mystery that frustrates logic. You were chosen not because you were qualified, but because heaven needed a vessel who could withstand misunderstanding without bitterness. Chosen one, do not answer every accusation. Do not explain your every silence. Let heaven speak for you. The investigator's report is already flawed, for it cannot measure what is eternal. They will soon find that you are not a project to analyze, but a prophecy being fulfilled in real time. The difference between them and you is simple: you wait for revelation, while they chase information. There is power in letting your peace do the talking. When you refuse to react, you activate heaven's defense. Stillness is not weakness, it is a declaration of trust. When God is your defender, silence becomes your weapon. You may feel the tension building. The spiritual atmosphere tightens as the line between observation and attack begins to blur. But do not fear. The very moment they cross the line of divine restraint, Heaven intervenes when the same God who waited 2 hours before speaking will not wait a second longer once the appointed time of exposure comes. The unseen watcher will be watched. The seeker will be sought. The investigator will stand before the throne, not as a questioner, but as the questioned. For every chosen one, there is a season where you are studied and then a moment when you are revealed. That moment is approaching. You have to understand the order of heaven. God allows scrutiny before he releases glory. You are living proof that divine delay is a setup for divine demonstration. The longer you are misunderstood, the louder your vindication will sound when it arrives. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 91, verse 1. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Let that verse anchor you. You are not exposed, you are covered. The shadow of the Almighty is your shield. No human investigator can access what God conceals. They can study your patterns but never predict your power. They can observe your movements but never touch your mandate. Chosen one. Walk as though heaven has already ruled in your favor, because it has. The investigation against you is turning into testimony for you. The same eyes that sought to find fault will soon witness favor. God is writing a story so precise that even your enemies will be forced to acknowledge his hand upon your life. So stand firm, say nothing, watch everything. The watcher of your soul is preparing to reverse the gaze. In the stillness, the tables are already turning. What they thought would expose you will soon expose them. And you will know heaven never misses a detail. The investigation deepens. Chosen one. The silence has already been shattered, and now the voices rise not from heaven this time, but from the shadows. They question your motives, twist your kindness into manipulation, and label your discernment as pride. You feel the sting, don't you? The sting of being misunderstood, of having your purity placed under a microscope by those who have never carried your cross. But pause and remember you were warned. The whispers that followed you in the night were not to frighten you, but to prepare you. The battle has entered a new stage, the interrogation. You are being questioned not by people, but by principalities. Their language is doubt. Their weapon is confusion. Their aim is to make you second-guess the word God spoke over your life. The investigator's gaze has become an interrogation light, and yet you remain calm. That calmness is your crown. Do you know why the darkness questions you so intensely? Because your endurance terrifies it. The enemy cannot comprehend peace that persists under pressure. He cannot stand the sight of faith that refuses to fold. They will ask, "Who do you think you are?" And heaven answers, "Chosen." They will say, "You've changed." And heaven whispers, "You've grown." They will mock, "You're too spiritual." And heaven replies, "You've become what I called you to be." The interrogation is meant to draw confession, but not of guilt, of glory. Every question pressed against you becomes a declaration of your divine identity. You have nothing to defend. You are already justified. Do not waste your breath proving what heaven has already sealed. The enemy will twist truth into traps. He will replay your past, amplify your mistakes, and magnify your weaknesses. But your history is not your sentence, it's your evidence. Every scar is proof that grace has worked. Every flaw is a doorway for mercy. The investigator wants to study your wounds, but heaven calls them credentials. Listen, chosen one, the pressure will increase before it breaks. The more you are questioned, the closer you are to revelation. The interrogation is not punishment, it is exposure through contrast. God allows darkness to question the light so that the brilliance of truth becomes undeniable. And in this moment, while the questions swirl around you, heaven speaks once again, clear, firm, unshaken. The Spirit whispers, "Hold your peace. Silence is your strongest testimony." Every unspoken word becomes an arrow of light. Let them talk. Let them assume. Let them circle. You are not being crushed, you are being clarified. As the Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 8, "We are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair." That verse is the anthem of your interrogation. You may feel surrounded, but you are not trapped. You may not understand the full picture, but you are not abandoned. Heaven is using this tension to tighten your focus. The more they question, the more God confirms. There is something sacred about being misunderstood. It isolates you from the applause of the crowd and pushes you deeper into the voice of the Spirit. When no one else believes you, you learn to hear God more clearly. When your motives are misjudged, your purity is refined. When your character is attacked, your conviction is strengthened. This is how chosen ones are shaped under fire, in silence, through interrogation. Do not despise the spotlight of accusation. It will soon become the platform of revelation. Every false witness will eventually serve as proof of your authenticity. When the trial ends, even the investigator will know that you were never the suspect, you were the signal. God allowed them to question you so they would accidentally witness His glory through you. Look around, chosen one. The atmosphere is shifting. Heaven is beginning to tilt the balance. You are not the one being judged anymore, you are the one being revealed. The accusers will soon run out of questions, and all that will remain is evidence of divine favor. So hold steady. Let their words fade. You are not defending your calling, you are living it. Your peace is preaching louder than any sermon could. And now, as a sign that you have understood this truth, type these words below: "I stand firm." Do not rush it, let your spirit absorb it first. Those 3 words are more than a comment, they are a covenant. When you write them, you are declaring that no interrogation, no accusation, no unseen investigator can move you from your place in God. You are standing firm not in arrogance but in assurance. Heaven recognizes declarations made in faith. It is not about the algorithm, it is about alignment. The court of heaven is still in session, but the verdict is already written. The one who questioned you is about to be questioned by the same light they tried to hide from. Every false report is being rewritten by truth. Every attack is becoming testimony. And when the dust settles, chosen one, you will stand untouched, unbroken, unwavering. For heaven has already ruled you are not under investigation. You are under divine protection. The questions fade, but their echoes linger. Chosen one, you feel the weight of everything that has just been spoken against you. It's not merely noise, it's spiritual residue, the lingering vibration of accusation in the unseen realm. Yet even as the air feels heavy, something within you has changed. You have crossed the threshold between confusion and clarity. You no longer wonder if you are chosen, you know it. The interrogation has ended, and now, heaven moves. What was once a scene of questioning is now a courtroom of verdicts. The investigator, the one who studied your every move, begins to feel the pressure of divine attention. For when God shifts His gaze, the balance of authority changes. The one who watched becomes the watched. There is silence again, but it is not the same as before. The first silence tested you. This one surrounds you with divine protection. The enemy thought you were cornered, yet you stand in a circle of light, unseen, untouchable, preserved. Every accusation thrown at you has fallen to the ground with no place to rest. Heaven does not allow lies to linger over a consecrated soul. You, meanwhile, remain silent. Your peace has become your armor. Your stillness carries more authority than their noise. That is the mark of the chosen when words are no longer needed for victory. Heaven has taken over the conversation. There is a law written in eternity: everything hidden must come to light. That is not a threat, it is a guarantee. The same God who allowed you to wait now moves swiftly to uncover what was meant to harm you. The evidence is forming not by your hand, but by divine orchestration. The investigator's own actions become the record that convicts them. You do not have to lift a finger. You are a witness now, not a warrior. The season of defense is over. This is the season of revelation. The truth is stepping into the open, and you will simply watch it unfold. Heaven begins to send subtle signs. Conversations shift. Secrets slip. People who once avoided you begin to confess things they cannot explain. That is how exposure begins, not with thunder, but with trembling voices. Those who thought they could manipulate outcomes are being undone by their own words. The investigator is beginning to unravel, thread by thread. And as this happens, the Spirit of God reminds you mercy always comes before judgment. God does not expose to destroy, He exposes to correct. Even the investigator has a chance to repent, though pride may blind them from seeing it. You, chosen one, must not gloat. Vindication is not vengeance, it is alignment. You are being set back into your rightful position while the false is being removed. The exposure is not for your entertainment, it is for your elevation. Heaven cannot build your next chapter on corrupted foundations. The investigator's presence in your life was never random. They were the final test of your integrity before promotion. Now, the test is ending. The light grows stronger. You begin to feel peace returning, not the fragile calm that depends on circumstances, but the deep, steady peace that only comes from divine order being restored. You realize that God was not silent out of neglect, He was silent out of control. He was allowing truth to mature until it could speak for itself. Heaven's countermove has begun. The unseen hand that guided your waiting now moves swiftly to reorder everything that was thrown into chaos. Connections will realign, hidden motives will surface, and you will see that every delay, every moment of uncertainty, was heaven building a record of righteousness on your behalf. The Spirit speaks again, not as a whisper, but as a decree: be still and know that I am God. That is not a suggestion, it is a command of confidence. The stillness that once felt like suffocation now feels like sovereignty. You have discovered the divine rhythm. Heaven always moves slower than fear, but faster than fate. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 6. Be strong and of good courage. Do not fear nor be afraid of them. For the Lord your God, He is the one who goes with you. That truth wraps around your spirit like armor. You no longer tremble at the presence of those who question you. Fear evaporates when you realize who walks beside you. The investigator's authority ends where divine companionship begins. Chosen one. This is the turning point. Heaven's focus has shifted. The scales are being balanced, and justice is aligning with grace. The 2-hour wait was never about delay. It was the countdown to this moment. The counter-move of heaven has begun, and the story is no longer about you being observed. It is about God revealing Himself through your restraint. You will not need to explain what happens next. Heaven will. The air begins to shift again. Chosen one. The stillness that once held tension now carries a strange peace, like the quiet after a storm is spoken. You stand in that silence, realizing something profound. The exposure was never just about the investigator. It was about you. Heaven allowed the test so that you could see what kind of strength was hidden within your spirit. You thought the investigation was meant to humiliate you, but it became your unveiling. While they studied your steps, God studied your heart. And now the report is in heaven finds you faithful. The records of fear, insecurity, and doubt are being replaced with declarations of purpose. You are not merely surviving this moment. You are being promoted through it. This is heaven's rhythm, revelation after restraint, blessing after battle. You were never meant to crumble under pressure. You were meant to crystallize. Like gold refined in fire, every trial you've endured has melted away the unnecessary, leaving only the radiant core of who you truly are. Chosen one, imagine your soul as a seed buried deep beneath the ground. For a time, darkness surrounded you, pressure enclosed you, and silence became your only companion. But what you didn't see was the miracle, the breaking that precedes growth. The soil that seemed to bury you was actually protecting you. And now, the first cracks of light are reaching you. You're not being buried anymore. You're breaking through. Chosen one. Your life is shifting from survival to significance. But remember, this calling carries responsibility. When God restores, He does not just hand back what was stolen, He multiplies it. That multiplication is meant to flow outward. The anointing on your life was never meant to stay contained. You are to become a vessel that pours. And that is why, as this message reaches your heart, I ask you something not as a demand, but as a divine partnership. Just as a seed grows only when watered, these words grow when shared. If this message has stirred something inside you, like this word, share it forward and subscribe so you remain part of this divine unfolding. Your small act of sharing is not a click, it's a ripple. It sends light into corners where others still sit in silence, wondering if heaven has forgotten them. Your support, your voice becomes a torch in someone else's night. And if your spirit feels led, if the message you're hearing has brought healing or confirmation, consider sowing into this space, not out of pressure, but out of gratitude. When you donate, you're not giving to a person, you're watering a field where thousands of souls are awakening. Every offering becomes oil that keeps the flame alive. Your generosity fuels the reach of revelation. It keeps the message moving to those who need it most. Think of it like this: when rain falls, it does not choose where to bless, it simply obeys heaven's wind. Your support works the same way. It goes farther than you see, touching hearts you may never meet. That is how chosen ones build together, not through fame, but through faithfulness. The Spirit of God is reminding you that the seeds you plant in faith never die. Every act of kindness, every word you share, every bit of support you give, they all rise again in the season of reward. Heaven never forgets a giver. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 25, a generous soul will prosper, and he who refreshes others will himself be refreshed. That is the secret, chosen one. The flow you sustain for others becomes the flow that sustains you. When you share this message, you refresh a weary heart. When you sow into this ministry, you refresh heaven's mission. When you lift your hand in faith, heaven takes note and returns blessings in ways you can't measure. You are not just a listener, you are a co-laborer in light. Every moment you invest here is a declaration that darkness does not get the final word. You are helping heaven speak louder. Feel this truth: you are standing at a divine intersection. One path leads to complacency, the other to contribution. Choose the one that multiplies light. Keep the fire burning with your presence, your sharing, your support, your prayers. The kingdom expands through the obedience of the few who understand that faith is not just believed, it's built. So, as heaven watches, walk boldly into your next chapter. The investigator has been exposed. The silence has served its purpose, and your vindication is complete. The time has come for you to rise as one who not only hears but helps heaven move. You are the answer to someone else's waiting prayer. You are the ripple of a divine wave that began long before this message reached you. Keep shining, keep standing, keep sowing, and heaven will keep multiplying. This is not the end of your test. It is the beginning of your testimony. You are proof that delay is divine and that generosity is a weapon of light. The hour of exposure has passed, and now the heavens are still again. But this stillness feels different, doesn't it? Chosen one. It's not the silence of testing anymore. It's the hush that follows revelation. You can almost hear it, the sound of divine balance settling into place, the echo of justice fulfilled. What was hidden is no longer concealed. The investigator's mask has fallen, and the truth stands bare beneath the light. This moment is not loud, yet it carries thunder. It is the quiet that precedes transformation. Heaven is rearranging things for your good, and though your surroundings may look the same, the atmosphere around you has shifted forever. You are standing on sacred ground, the aftermath of obedience. The war you fought in silence is now becoming a testimony that speaks louder than words. The Spirit of God reminds you exposure was not the end, it was preparation. When God reveals deceit, He clears the soil for destiny. He uproots what was false, so that what is true can flourish. You have endured the pruning, and now heaven prepares the planting. Chosen one, can you feel the change within yourself? You have grown quieter but stronger, wiser but softer. You no longer rush into explanations because truth defends you. You no longer fear delay because you have learned the rhythm of divine timing. What the investigator meant for humiliation became your graduation. Heaven watches as your name rises like incense before the throne. Your obedience has been recorded, your endurance written into the scrolls of remembrance, and as God turns the page of your life, you realize this chapter begins not with questions but with commissioning. The 2-hour pause was heaven sharpening your purpose, and now the call is clear. You are to walk as one refined by revelation. You are not who you were before the silence began. You have been remade in the quiet fire of faith. Every sleepless night, every misunderstood moment, every unseen tear has become the ink of your testimony. The trial was not wasted. It was woven into the fabric of your anointing. There is beauty in divine exposure. When God uncovers lies, He also uncovers destiny. The very light that revealed their deception is the same light that now illuminates your path. What once felt like loss is turning into leadership. You are not merely vindicated, you are commissioned. The Spirit whispers again. Now that you see clearly, walk carefully, for with revelation comes responsibility. The light you carry must be protected, not hidden. You are stepping into a season where your discernment will guide others, where your endurance will become their encouragement. Many will look to you, not because you shouted louder, but because you survived longer. You are now a living testimony that God waits. But He never forgets, and that He delays. But He never denies, and that every delay conceals a design greater than you imagined. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 30, verse 5. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. That verse is your anthem now. The night of confusion is over and dawn has arrived, not just around you, but within you. You have stepped into your spiritual morning. The light that surrounds you is not ordinary, it's resurrection light. It restores what time and betrayal tried to steal. Chosen one, heaven smiles upon your endurance. You have walked through accusation and come out anointed. You have been misunderstood and yet remain merciful. You have been attacked and yet stayed pure. These are not small victories, they are eternal ones. And now, heaven extends an invitation, a prophetic act of acknowledgement. If this word resonates in the depths of your spirit, comment the number 404 below. Do it not as ritual, but as remembrance. That number signifies divine alignment. Body, soul, and spirit united under heaven's order. When you type it, do so with intention. Let it be your declaration that the pieces of your life are falling into place, that you trust heaven's timing more than human approval, that you believe what God starts, He always completes. This is more than a moment, it's a marking. Heaven watches those who respond in faith. You are writing your own record of obedience, one that angels read and God honors. So stand still once more, not in waiting, but in worship. The battle has turned into blessing. The investigation has turned into invitation, and the delay has turned into destiny. The 2-hour silence was heaven's clock ticking toward your unveiling. Now that you stand in light, walk as one who knows every hidden season is holy when surrendered to God. You are not finished. You are finally beginning. The heavens are no longer silent. Chosen one, they hum with the quiet energy of movement. The air feels charged, as though the unseen gears of divine justice are turning again. The exposure is complete, but the story continues. For after revelation always comes restoration, and after judgment, redemption. Heaven never ends on punishment, it ends on purpose. You stand at the edge of this new moment, sensing the shift not as noise but as knowing. You understand now that God's ways are not reactions. They are revelations written long before the first question was asked. The investigator's fall was not an accident. It was a prophecy fulfilled. Their unveiling was necessary for your unveiling. Every spiritual battle has 2 stages. First, the revealing of the enemy. Second, the refining of the chosen. You have passed through both. Now the refining begins in deeper ways. When gold emerges from fire, but it must be cooled before it can be shaped. That is where you stand now in the holy cooling. You are not under attack anymore, you are under adjustment. The light that exposed them now searches you, not to accuse, but to align. The Spirit whispers softly, "Before I send you, I must seal you." You are not being delayed again, you are being strengthened for the next release. Heaven is ensuring that your heart, once pierced by betrayal, will not bleed into your assignment. You are being healed from the residue of accusation so that your voice will carry purity and not pain. The breaking of seals has begun, not the seals of destruction, but the seals of destiny. Heaven opens scrolls that have your name inscribed on them. Inside are records of promises not yet fulfilled, prayers not yet answered, seeds not yet harvested. These are the mysteries now being released. The angels who were once silent during your testing are now sent forth as messengers, carrying the fulfillment of what was delayed. Every seal that breaks is a divine signature saying, "It is time." Time for healing, for reparation, for recognition. You were not waiting for blessings to be made, you were waiting for the appointed seals to open. There is an order to destiny that cannot be rushed. What God delayed was not denied. It was preserved for the exact second of readiness. That second has come, chosen one. This is why you had to endure the silence. Heaven needed to ensure that when the seals opened, your heart would be clean. Vindication is dangerous when bitterness remains. That is why you were processed in the quiet, so that when promotion comes, your spirit will carry humility instead of revenge. You may feel something stirring in your chest right now, a heaviness, a heat, a holy ache. That is not anxiety, it is anointing expanding. It is the oil of endurance being poured into new purpose. Every tear you cried in secret has become liquid fire in the hands of heaven. Now that same oil will flow through your words, your actions, your presence. People will sense peace around you without knowing why. It is because the seals of destiny have begun to open, and your life is becoming a testimony written by God Himself. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not delay." Those words echo in the chambers of your soul. You are living proof of that scripture. Every delay has served divine timing. You waited, not in vain, but in preparation. And now, as the vision begins to unfold, you finally understand why heaven seemed so still. The silence was not empty, it was sacred. The breaking of seals continues. Old memories lose their sting. Old names lose their hold. Every door that closed during your testing now begins to creak open, not because you forced it, but because you outlasted the lock. You passed the test of time. That is the secret of the chosen. They do not need to force destiny. They simply remain faithful until destiny forces itself open. You have entered that phase. The oil that once wept inside you now flows freely. The chains that once clung to your spirit fall without sound. You are lighter now, not because the past disappeared, but because the weight has been turned into wisdom. Heaven looks upon you with pride, not for perfection, but for endurance. The same God who waited 2 hours to warn you now moves in seconds to reward you. You are no longer under observation, you are under acceleration. So, stand quietly in this holy moment. The seals are breaking one by one, and every crack in the spiritual realm is heaven's applause for your obedience. You are proof that time bows to purpose, and that those who wait faithfully never wait in vain. The air feels heavy again. Chosen one, but this weight is not oppression, it is glory. The moment of reckoning approaches. Heaven has broken the seals, and now the scroll of justice begins to unroll before you. The silence that once surrounded your name is about to be replaced with divine speech. What was whispered in the shadows will now be proclaimed in the light. Every false word spoken against you must now meet the truth face to face. This is the moment where heaven demands that the record be corrected. Every lie written about you is being confronted by the handwriting of God Himself, the ledger of wrongs, the scroll of accusations, the unspoken rumors. All of it stands before the throne. And heaven speaks with fire enough. You can almost feel it in your spirit, the trembling of unseen realms as divine truth begins to descend. What was hidden cannot remain so. Every deception that danced freely in the dark is now dragged into the open light of justice. This is not the vengeance of man, it is the alignment of heaven. You do not need to speak. Chosen one, the truth itself has found its voice. Your life, once examined by false eyes, now becomes the evidence of God's righteousness. Every step you took in obedience is being played back in heaven's court. The angels testify on your behalf. The moments you prayed when no one watched. The times you forgave without being thanked. The seasons you endured without recognition, all of it has become your defense. You were not silent in vain. Your restraint has now become revelation. The moment of reckoning is not merely about the investigator being exposed. It is about the restoration of divine order. For too long, the scales were tilted by human opinion, by misjudgment, by envy. But heaven is balancing them now. The King of Glory sits upon His throne, and the gavel of righteousness falls. You can hear it not with your ears, but with your soul, the sound of divine correction echoing through eternity. This moment will not be announced with thunder or lightning, but with subtle reversals. Doors that were shut to you will begin to open without explanation. People who turn their backs will feel an urge to apologize, even if their lips never find the courage. Your name will travel ahead of you, not through gossip, but through grace. Where your presence was once rejected, your absence will now be felt. That is the poetry of divine justice heaven restores by rewriting perception. Chosen one, do not gloat. The temptation to rejoice over your enemies will whisper to your heart, but resist it. True vindication is not triumph over people. It is peace beyond pain. The goal of this moment is not to prove you were right, but to show that God never left. Mercy stands beside justice, even now. For though the investigator is exposed, God's purpose is still redemptive. Exposure is not execution. It is correction wrapped in compassion. The Lord does not destroy to prove a point, He reveals to redeem. The same light that uncovered deceit can also guide the deceived back to truth. You are not called to celebrate their fall, but to witness their awakening. You must carry the same mercy that once covered you. The reckoning, then, is twofold. It restores your standing and redeems their sight. Heaven never writes a single victory. It writes restoration on both sides of the story. You stand as the living bridge between justice and grace, a testimony that truth can triumph without hatred. As Jesus Himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 26, "There is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed, or hidden that will not be made known." That verse now breathes life into your moment. Everything done in secret has come under divine review. Heaven has not forgotten the words, the actions, the thoughts. Nothing escapes His gaze, and nothing unjust will remain unbalanced. Yet even in judgment, His mercy endures. The moment of reckoning is not about the past anymore, it's about alignment for the future. God is preparing to release you into new territory, but He cannot send you forward with unhealed wounds or unresolved accounts. That is why this confrontation was necessary. It clears the atmosphere around your calling. It frees your name from entanglement. It allows you to move without residue. Soon, you will notice how light you feel. The emotional weight will lift, not because circumstances change instantly, but because your spirit recognizes that heaven has ruled. The case is closed. The verdict is truth. You will walk with a quiet confidence from this moment onward, not arrogance, not pride, but peace, the kind of peace that only comes when heaven has spoken on your behalf. You will know, deep within, that no accusation can ever hold power again. The one who stood against you has been corrected by light, and you have been crowned by grace. So stand still, chosen one. The reckoning is not chaos, it is completion. You are watching the fulfillment of every divine promise that began with a 2-hour wait. The storm of exposure has passed. Chosen one, and what remains now is the stillness after divine judgment, the sacred quiet that follows truth spoken aloud. The reckoning has ended, but the weight of glory remains. It rests on your shoulders like a mantle, heavier than before, yet different. It does not crush, it crowns. The air feels cleaner now, doesn't it? Like the atmosphere after rain, when everything impure has been washed away. That's what heaven just did. The lies dissolved, the fear lifted, and the dust of accusation settled. The light around you is no longer harsh, it's holy. The radiance that once exposed now embraces, and in this clarity something unexpected happens, joy. Not loud, careless joy, but quiet, reverent joy, the kind that seeps through your soul and whispers, "It was all worth it." The pain, the confusion, the waiting, the silence, it all led here, to this peace that words can't quite describe. Heaven has recorded this transformation as a victory, not a victory of triumph over enemies, but of endurance over despair. You have proven that faith is not about escaping the fire but surviving within it. You stayed when it hurt. You believed when it made no sense. You waited when others walked away. That is the strength of the chosen. Now, as heaven's light surrounds you, something new begins. It's subtle, yet undeniable, the weight of glory. It doesn't appear as wealth or applause, it appears as awareness. You start to see life differently. The same moments that once wounded you now teach you. The same places that broke you now bless you. The same silence that felt like abandonment now feels like alignment. Chosen one, your faith has matured. You no longer chase signs, you recognize seasons. You no longer beg for validation, you walk in quiet authority. The mark of the chosen is not noise, it is knowing. Heaven doesn't need to shout when your spirit has learned to listen. The light within you is no longer defensive, it's defining. You have become what darkness feared all along, unshakable. And that unshakable peace, this deep, steady presence, is the proof that heaven has completed its work in you. The Lord has begun to release favor in forms you did not expect. Not the kind that draws attention, but the kind that draws alignment. You will begin to meet people whose spirits resonate with yours, not because of fame or status, but because of shared refinement. Heaven connects those who have survived the same fire. As the Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 8. They are like a tree planted by the water, sending out roots by the stream, not fearing heat, staying green, and never ceasing to bear fruit. That verse is your reflection now. You have become deeply rooted, unafraid of seasons, sustained by unseen waters. The heat of accusation could not wither you. Instead, it strengthened your roots. Every trial forced you to dig deeper into divine trust. You no longer chase rain, you draw from the river of life within you. This is why your presence unsettles darkness even when you say nothing. You carry calm authority, the quiet knowing that comes from having seen heaven move on your behalf. The world cannot imitate that. It cannot counterfeit the peace that comes from divine vindication. And now, the Spirit prompts a response not for validation, but for activation. As you read this, let your spirit answer heaven with a declaration. Type below, I rise again. Do not rush those words. Let them sit in your chest first. Feel their truth vibrating through you. I rise again. You are not typing a comment, you are marking a moment. Those 3 words are resurrection language. They declare that the investigation did not end you. The exposure did not break you, the waiting did not weaken you. You have risen not the same, but transformed. When you write them, it becomes an act of faith, a prophetic acknowledgement that you are walking into a season of renewal. Heaven watches faith in motion. Words written in belief become prayers written in eternity. I rise again is not about climbing out of a grave, it's about ascending into purpose. It's the declaration of one who understands that resurrection is not an event, it's a lifestyle. The light that surrounds you now is not borrowed, it's birthed. It came through pain, through patience, through prayer. You no longer glow with borrowed fire, you burn with the flame heaven placed inside you. Chosen one. The weight of glory is not meant to be feared, it's meant to be carried with reverence. Every blessing has its weight, every calling its cost. But you have been proven worthy of both. The heaviness you feel is not burden, it is destiny settling into its rightful place. So breathe deeply. The air around you is not heavy with judgment anymore, it's thick with promise. Heaven has declared you ready. The one who was once investigated now becomes the inspiration. The one who was misunderstood now becomes the message. The one who waited now becomes the witness. You rise again not to defend your past, but to define your future. The light grows warmer now. Chosen one. The weight that once pressed upon you begins to lift, not because the journey is ended, but because your spirit has adapted to carry glory. You are walking in a rare peace, the kind that is not taught, only lived. The war that once surrounded your name has become the wind beneath your wings. Every battle you fought in silence has turned into a melody heaven now plays in your honor. This is the reversal decree, the divine law that states what was once stolen must be restored sevenfold. But understand this, the restoration does not always come in the same form. What you lost in possessions, you gain in perception. What was taken in relationships, you recover in revelation. God's arithmetic is not material, it is miraculous. You see, chosen one, life often mirrors a tide. At one moment, everything is pulled away, leaving you standing on bare sand, wondering if the sea will ever return. But then slowly, the waves roll back, not only returning what was taken, but bringing treasures from depths you never imagined. That is what heaven is doing for you right now. The tide is turning. The same waters that once retreated in silence are now rushing back, carrying the blessings attached to your obedience. And as the tide turns, so does your calling. You are no longer meant to walk quietly through storms, you are meant to help others find their way through theirs. The reversal decree is not simply a promise to you, it's a purpose through you. Heaven restores you so that you might restore others. But every restoration has a rhythm. And right here, as you read these words, you are part of that rhythm. These messages are not random, they are divine echoes, reaching you at the precise moment your spirit was ready to receive. The very same way heaven aligned your path to this voice, you now carry the opportunity to align others. So, as a gentle act of partnership with heaven's work, I invite you, like this message, share it with those who wander through their own midnight. Subscribe to stay connected to this flow of divine revelation. And if your heart feels moved, donate to the well that refreshes you. Understand, chosen one, this is not transaction, it's transformation. When you give, you don't pay for a word, you plant into a world. Every seed you sow is a whisper to heaven saying, continue the work. The oil that flows through these messages needs vessels to carry it farther. Your generosity becomes the wind that carries divine truth into other hearts still lost in silence. Think of it like a river when water flows freely. Everything it touches becomes fertile. But when it is dammed by fear or hesitation, the land downstream withers. Your engagement, your sharing, your prayer, your giving keeps the river flowing. You are not a spectator here, you are part of the current. And when you help the river flow, it always returns to you in new forms. Sometimes in provision, sometimes in protection, sometimes in peace that cannot be explained. Heaven's economy is never unbalanced. The same hand that receives from you returns more than you expect. The Word of God declares in the book of Luke, chapter 6, verse 38, "Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will be poured into your lap." That promise is not a metaphor, it's a spiritual law. Heaven records every act of generosity, whether it's your time, your words, your kindness, or your offering. God ensures it multiplies in ways unseen. Your simple click, your quiet share, your unseen gift, all of it matters more than you know. Someone else's breakthrough might be one share away. Someone else's awakening might be tied to your act of faith. You may never see their face, but heaven will connect the dots. And when you stand before the throne, you'll see how your small actions rippled into eternal impact. Chosen one, don't underestimate what you carry, your voice, your light. Your faith, they are divine instruments in the great symphony of redemption. When you participate, you're not supporting a message, you're sustaining a movement. You're ensuring that the fire that reached you continues to burn across hearts worldwide. So let your act today, whether a like, a share, a word, or a gift, be your way of saying, I am part of the river. Because every current begins with one drop. Every revival begins with one heart saying yes. And every restoration multiplies through those who choose to pour instead of preserve. The reversal decree has already been signed over your life. Now heaven asks you to walk it out to become a living example of overflow. Your obedience in giving, in sharing, in believing is the key that keeps the floodgates open. And when the tide of blessing rises again, and it will, you will stand not as a survivor of storms, but as one who commands the waters. The reversal decree has been spoken, chosen one, and the sound of restoration echoes quietly in the unseen. Heaven has already issued the order, now the earth begins to respond. But what follows restoration is not celebration, it is revelation. For once the tide returns, you must learn to walk upon the waters that once threatened to drown you. This is the trial in the night, the mysterious testing that follows every blessing. You are not being punished again. You are being prepared for permanence. God has restored what was lost, but now He must strengthen your spirit to sustain it. The night returns not as darkness, but as instruction. Dreams have become your classroom. Every image, every sound carries purpose. The same Spirit who defended you now becomes your teacher. The darkness that once frightened you becomes a veil for revelation. You are not wandering in confusion, you are walking in divine curriculum. Chosen one, remember this spiritual maturity is not measured by how much you know, but by how well you listen. The trial in the night is not about seeing clearly, it's about trusting completely. You are learning to navigate by faith, to recognize the voice of God when every other voice is asleep. There is a reason why heaven teaches in the night, in the noise of daylight. Too many opinions compete with the whisper of truth. But when darkness falls, distractions die. The Spirit finds you in silence and begins to reveal what the waking world cannot. The trial in the night is not external, it is internal. It asks you the questions daylight never could. Can you still believe when the light feels far? Can you walk when the path glows only one step at a time? Can you trust what your spirit hears when your eyes see nothing? This is how the chosen are refined. Heaven does not send storms anymore, it sends silence. It no longer tests your faith by fire, but by the absence of proof. And in that absence, your heart learns to echo what God says, not what fear suggests. The visions you see in the night are not random, they are rehearsals of your destiny. Each one shows a fragment of what's ahead, wrapped in symbols for you to unfold in prayer. You are being trained to interpret, to discern, to move from reaction to revelation. And slowly, you realize the same darkness that once surrounded your pain now becomes the canvas of your purpose. You start to see patterns, divine connections, holy coincidences that could only have been arranged by the hand of heaven. What once looked like chaos now feels like choreography. Every step of confusion was part of a divine dance leading you here. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Roman, chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to His purpose. Those words are not theory, they are testimony. You are seeing them unfold in real time. Even the things that once broke you are now working in your favor. The nights that once terrified you now train you. The voices that once accused you now serve as echoes of confirmation. chosen one. Do not fear this stage. You are not walking backward, you are walking deeper. The trial in the night is heaven's final test before the unveiling of your full calling. It ensures that your discernment is sharp, your faith unmovable, and your humility intact. You are being trusted with secrets that others cannot carry. That trust comes at a cost, but it also carries a crown. In this season, solitude is sacred. You may feel the urge to retreat, to speak less, to listen more. Follow that instinct. Heaven speaks most clearly in still hearts. The world will not understand this quiet withdrawal, but heaven applauds it. You are not disappearing. You are being downloaded. Every silence becomes instruction. Every sigh becomes intercession. And as you walk through these spiritual nights, something extraordinary happens. You stop fearing them. The night no longer intimidates you, it invites you. You realize the darkness is not your enemy, it's your environment. For stars only shine when the sun has set. You, chosen one, are one of those stars. Heaven is writing messages through your endurance, constellations of faith that others will read when their own skies go dark. That is your purpose now, to reflect divine light in hidden places. So, walk confidently into this night. The trial is not punishment, it is proof that heaven trusts you with revelation. You have passed through fire, through silence, through exposure, and now you are being ushered into the wisdom of the unseen. Do not rush the dawn, let the night speak its mysteries. For when the morning comes, you will rise not just restored, but transformed. The night of revelation is passing, chosen one, and a soft light begins to seep over the horizon of your soul. You have walked through dreams and discernment, through shadows and whispers, and now heaven is aligning time again. You can almost feel it, the pulse of divine rhythm syncing with your heartbeat. What was once delayed is now right on schedule. The clock of heaven has struck alignment. This is the prophetic timestamp, the holy moment when what was spoken in the spirit begins to manifest in the natural. Every prophecy, every promise, every quiet assurance whispered in your tears has found its appointed hour. The 2-hour delay that began your journey was never random. It was the first tick of this divine countdown. Heaven's timing is perfect because heaven sees the full picture. And now the pieces begin to move into place. Look closely. Chosen one, you will start to notice divine coincidences, doors opening without effort, faces returning from the past, words spoken years ago suddenly making sense. These are not accidents, they are alignments. Heaven is reminding you that the delay was not a denial. It was a divine scheduling adjustment. God is not a God of chance. He is the master of chronology. While you waited, he was weaving. While you questioned, he was constructing. Heaven was waiting for the intersection of readiness and revelation. And now, the lines have met. The appointed time has come. And what was paused is about to proceed. You may feel it in your body, a tingling in your hands, a heaviness lifting from your shoulders, a sudden awareness that the waiting season has expired. That is not imagination. It is activation. The Spirit moves when the clock of purpose strikes, and that clock has just chimed for you. Chosen one, understand this divine timing is heaven's signature of trust. God would not release what he promised until he was sure you could hold it. The 2-hour pause was heaven ensuring that your blessing would not become your burden. Now that the refining is complete, release can begin. You will soon find yourself walking into moments that feel familiar, as though you've been there before. That's because you have prophetically. The visions and dreams that once felt abstract are now overlapping with your reality. The words that seem too distant to believe are beginning to breathe around you. You are stepping into what heaven already finished. This is why your discernment has sharpened, your spirit grown quieter, your faith deepened. Heaven needed you to mature before manifestation. The unripe fruit of blessing spoils quickly, the ripe one nourishes generations. You have ripened in the waiting. The ancient words recorded in Ecclesiastes still echo today. Chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven. That verse is the melody of your life right now. Every delay, every detour, every unanswered prayer was part of divine timing. Heaven never wastes seconds, it sanctifies them. And now, you stand in the center of your season, the appointed moment where everything that once felt fragmented begins to form a pattern. Chosen one, you must recognize this season not by noise but by knowing. It will not arrive with fireworks or fanfare, it will come quietly like sunrise. The light will grow gently, illuminating step by step, until suddenly you see that you are standing in the fulfillment you once prayed for. But with timing comes responsibility. The same God who releases destiny also expects readiness. You must walk carefully now, not in fear, but in wisdom. Every action, every conversation, every choice must reflect your new alignment. Heaven's clock is still ticking, and you are now part of its rhythm. The prophetic timestamp also marks a call for gratitude. What was once confusion now demands thanksgiving. When you look back, you'll see that the moments you cursed as delay were actually divine protection. The seasons you hated became holy hiding places. The silence that frustrated you became the soil of maturity. Now heaven asks for acknowledgement not in ritual, but in reverence. As you feel this truth resonate in your spirit, respond in faith. Comment the number 5M55 below. Let that number be your covenant with divine timing. It symbolizes grace upon grace, heaven's way of saying the transition is complete and the change is sacred. When you type it, do not see it as a mere act. See it as a prophetic key. You are aligning your declaration with heaven's decree. You are saying, I trust your timing. Lord, I release control and receive completion. That is the language of maturity, the tongue of those who have been refined by delay and rewarded by divine design. The prophetic timestamp has arrived. Chosen one. Everything delayed is now developing. Everything waiting is now awakening. The rhythm of heaven beats in your chest, and the seconds that once dragged now dance with destiny. You are no longer waiting for the appointed time, you are walking in it. The moment of divine alignment has come. Chosen one, and with it, a trembling in the unseen. The air feels charged again, alive with revelation, electric with truth. The prophetic timestamp has unlocked something hidden, and now, heaven's light shines where deceit once took refuge. The time for concealment is over. The mask is crumbling. The investigator, the one who studied you in secret, who tried to cloak deception under curiosity, can no longer maintain their disguise. The divine light that has followed your steps since the beginning now falls upon them, and everything they tried to hide begins to unravel. This is not vengeance, it is exposure by mercy. Heaven exposes not to humiliate, but to heal through truth. Chosen one, what you are witnessing is spiritual law in motion. What is built on falsehood cannot endure revelation. Light does not destroy, it reveals. And in revealing, it restores the balance that darkness tried to distort. You are watching the divine principle play out. Truth always outlasts manipulation. The investigator once appeared confident, even righteous. But the cracks are showing. Their words falter, their plans collide with themselves, and the persona they wore begins to slip. What they pretended to control was never theirs to hold. Heaven allowed them to operate only long enough to make the contrast visible. As light intensifies, so does discomfort. Those who built lives on shadows cannot endure illumination. But you, chosen one, have learned to live in light. The same brightness that burns them now blesses you. What blinds one restores another. This is how divine justice works. It is never partial, only precise. You will notice shifts around you, people stepping back, conversations fading, truths surfacing in unexpected places. Do not chase these revelations, simply witness them. The unraveling does not need your assistance. Truth has its own momentum. Once light begins its work, it completes it. Heaven is not simply revealing individuals, it is exposing intentions. Motives that once appeared pure now reveal traces of self-interest. Words that once sounded noble now echo hollow. The spirit of truth sweeps through like wind through tall grass, bending everything in the same direction, revealing what stands firm and what was only pretending to. The mask of the investigator is not just a symbol of deceit. It represents everything in your life that wore a false face. Every alliance built on pretense, every opportunity that glittered without substance, every promise that carried hidden cost, all of it is being exposed. Heaven is cleansing your path of counterfeit connections. This process is painful to watch. You will feel compassion, even for those who wronged you. That compassion is not weakness, it is evidence of transformation. The heart that once sought justice now intercedes for mercy. You are not gloating over exposure. You are grieving over lost potential. This is the maturity heaven wanted you to reach before revealing truth. The Spirit spoke through the Apostle Paul, Ephesians chapter 5, verse 13. But everything exposed by the light becomes visible, and everything that is illuminated becomes a light. That is what is happening now. The exposure is not to shame, but to illuminate. Even those who fall beneath this light are given a chance to rise again, purified and renewed. God's mercy is vast, it reaches even the deceiver if repentance is found. Chosen one, take heart. This unveiling marks the beginning of freedom, not for you alone, but for every soul connected to this story. Truth does not isolate, it liberates. Once light enters a place, it leaves no corner untouched. Do not interfere with heaven's process. Do not try to manage the exposure or protect the image of those revealed. Let truth have its way. God's justice is surgical, it cuts only to heal. The investigator's exposure is the final piece that clears your atmosphere completely. You are stepping into open space now, free of distortion, free of the invisible drain that once pulled at your peace. What once felt like betrayal now feels like relief. You no longer carry the weight of wondering. The clarity you prayed for has come not as comfort, but as confirmation. Heaven never allows lies to linger forever. You are witnessing the divine exchange, falsehood falling away, authenticity arising. The light that uncovered them has also purified you. You emerge from this process not wounded, but wise. You understand now that not every opposition was evil, some were instruments of revelation. Even the investigator, in their flawed pursuit, became part of your preparation. And so you breathe easier. The air around you is pure. The faces before you are true. The mask has crumbled, and the stage is cleared for what heaven intends next. You stand beneath the same light that once terrified the deceiver, yet it does not burn you, it crowns you. For the same sun that hardens clay softens wax, and you, chosen one, have chosen to remain pliable in the hands of God. The exposure is complete. The false has fallen away. The field is ready for new planting. The light that once revealed corruption now shines calmly upon the ground. Chosen one. The air is clear. The noise has faded. The storm has served its purpose and moved on. You stand within the calm that only truth can create, the aftermath of exposure, the space where heaven rewrites the story. This is the beginning of the new assignment. Every chapter of testing has prepared you for this one. The silence trained your patience. The interrogation refined your faith. The exposure matured your mercy. Now heaven entrusts you with something greater than vindication, a scroll of purpose sealed with divine intent. You are not being rewarded with comfort. You are being entrusted with calling. You may not feel ready, but readiness in the kingdom is rarely emotional. It is spiritual. God measures readiness not by how confident you are, but by how surrendered you've become. The wounds you once begged him to close have become the gateways through which compassion now flows. You see pain differently. You see people differently. You see yourself differently. That shift is the sign the new assignment has begun. Heaven unfolds the scroll before you, not in full, but line by line. You read it not with your eyes, but with your spirit. The words are not ink, they are instruction. Some are gentle, some are weighty. You understand now that purpose is not applause, it is obedience. The new assignment is not about being seen, it's about being sent. This mission carries weight because it's born from revelation. You are called to walk into territories where truth has been silenced, to speak peace where suspicion once ruled, to rebuild what accusation destroyed. The scars you carry are not marks of defeat, they are maps. They guide you to the very places others avoid. Chosen one. Your voice now carries authority because it has been tested in silence. Your words will carry weight because they were forged in prayer, not pride. You are not being given new power, you are being given new purpose. Power without purpose destroys, but purpose born in pain redeems. This assignment is not easy. It will require humility deeper than before. Heaven has elevated your influence, but elevation without humility leads to downfall. Remember what the fire taught you: staying hidden is not failure, it's faithfulness. God does not need you loud, He needs you true. You may be asked to return to places you left, not to dwell there, but to deliver what you've gained. The same arenas where you were misunderstood will become the stages of your testimony. The very voices that doubted you will find healing through your words. This is the poetry of divine reversal. Heaven never wastes pain. As the prophet Isaiah once wrote, chapter 61, verse 1. The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord has anointed me to preach good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for the captives, and release from darkness for the prisoners. That is the mantle resting on your shoulders now. You are not just restored, you are anointed. The trials were not random. They were initiation rites into divine service. Every tear shed in confusion became oil. Every night spent in silence became a whisper of intercession. Every season of loss became a lesson in leadership. Your new assignment carries the fragrance of mercy. You will no longer need to prove yourself. Your peace will speak louder than defense. The strength that once fought to survive now flows effortlessly as compassion. You will find yourself speaking words you never planned, comforting souls you never met, stepping into spaces you never imagined, and every time, you'll feel that same quiet voice say, "This is what the delay was for." Do not fear the scale of what lies ahead. Heaven will not send you where grace has not already gone. You are not alone in this work. Angels walk beside you, unseen but active, preparing hearts before you arrive. The divine orchestration that guided your testing now guides your mission. And though the world around you still trembles with uncertainty, you walk differently. Your steps are no longer reactive, they are rhythmic. You move with heaven's pace, steady and sure. The same timing that once frustrated you now fascinates you, for you finally see its perfection. Your assignment will unfold gradually, like dawn breaking over a landscape once veiled in fog. You won't need to chase opportunities, they will recognize your light. The Spirit will draw them to you, and you will know by peace when to move and when to wait. Every decision will echo with discernment, for you have learned the language of delay. Chosen one, the waiting has turned into walking. The pain has turned into purpose. The silence has turned into strategy. This is not a restart, it's a resurrection of calling. Now, the author writes again, this time with your cooperation. The pen is divine, but the parchment is you. You carry the scroll now. Chosen one. The ink of heaven has dried upon your destiny, and the air around you hums with purpose. Every trial, every silence, every storm has converged into this quiet moment where heaven watches to see how you'll walk with what was entrusted to you. This is not merely the end of a season, it is the beginning of your march of the vindicated. You are not walking alone. All around you, unseen, are others who survived the same refining fire. Souls who were misunderstood, voices that were silenced, hearts that were tested. You are part of a procession of light bearers, those who endured injustice but refused bitterness. Each step you take echoes with the sound of redemption. The road before you glows faintly, like gold dust stirred by your footsteps. That glow is not metaphor, it's manifestation. Heaven's approval follows movement, not stagnation. The moment you take a step forward, the ground beneath you transforms. Your obedience becomes a bridge for others still lost in their deserts. But as you walk this radiant road, there is something sacred you must understand. The journey of the vindicated is not one of pride, it's one of partnership. The light you now carry is not yours to keep. It's meant to be multiplied. Like a torch in a dark corridor, its power increases when passed along. So let your light flow outward. Chosen one, like this message not for vanity, but as a way of keeping the flame alive. When you share truth, you give it breath. When you share this word, you scatter sparks across souls you may never meet. And some of those sparks will ignite hearts that were about to go cold. And if this voice has walked with you through dark hours, if these words have reminded you that heaven still speaks, then I ask you to consider becoming part of the oil that keeps the light burning. Subscribe so you don't drift from the sound of this fire. Stay close to the current that keeps revelation flowing. And if your heart feels led gently, freely, without pressure, donate to the continuation of this ministry. It is not about charity. It is about circulation. A river only stays alive when it moves. Your gift becomes a drop that joins the flow, keeping this stream of light reaching others who need it as much as you once did. Think of this space as a garden. Every word spoken here is a seed, and every act of support is water. Some gardens bloom overnight, others take seasons, but all of them respond to care. Your like, your share, your generosity, they are small hands helping heaven tend to this field. Remember, chosen one, you are not giving to a person, you are sowing into purpose. The same purpose that found you when you thought you were forgotten. The same message that whispered wait when you wanted to quit. When you give, you're not just sustaining words, you're sustaining rescue missions for other weary hearts. And when you take a moment to comment below, do not type out of routine. Speak from revelation. Write what this journey has meant to you. What part of heaven's whisper touched your soul? Your comment becomes a stone in this altar of remembrance. When others scroll through and read your words, they will feel less alone. You might never meet them, but your testimony could be the reason they keep believing. As the apostle reminds us in his letter to the Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9, "Let us not grow weary while doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not lose heart." That verse breathes through this moment. Every act of kindness, every small support, every seed of faith planted here will return in due season. Heaven's economy is perfect. It always multiplies what's given in sincerity. You have reached the part of the story where you no longer receive just for yourself, you begin to release for others. Your blessing becomes a channel, not a container. When you share truth, you're not adding noise, you're extending healing. When you sow, you're not losing, you're aligning. The march of the vindicated is not about fanfare, it's about faith. Every step is worship. Every act of generosity is prophecy. Every word of encouragement is a spark that keeps this holy procession moving. You were never meant to walk alone. Chosen one. The story that began with a 2-hour silence now resounds with voices joining yours, each carrying their own light. Together, you form the living constellation heaven calls the restored. So as you finish this section, take a breath of gratitude. Look at how far you've come from accusation to anointing, from silence to song. And know this, the same hands that lifted you will use you to lift others. The river flows because hearts like yours keep it alive. The garden blooms because hands like yours keep tending. The light burns because souls like yours keep believing. You are not just a reader of this message, you are part of its continuation. The procession moves forward, chosen one, and you can feel it, the slow, steady rhythm of purpose beneath your feet. The wind that once opposed you now carries you. The landscape ahead is wide, open, and bright, yet strangely quiet. It is the silence of fulfillment, the hush that follows victory. You are walking in the march of the vindicated, not as a wounded survivor, but as one healed, whole, and crowned. Each step now echoes with history. The ground remembers the weight of your trials, the soil still damp with tears once shed in confusion. Yet everywhere your foot touches, new life sprouts. It is as if the earth itself has been waiting for your arrival. The seeds of endurance you planted in the night are now blooming beneath the daylight of justice. The barren places are becoming gardens, and the dust of disappointment is turning into fertile soil. This march is not about triumphalism, it is about testimony. You do not walk to prove your worth, you walk to display God's faithfulness. You carry the fragrance of redemption wherever you go, and those who cross your path will sense it even if they cannot explain it. The aura around you is not pride, but peace. It is the kind of peace that comes only after you have seen heaven defend you in silence and restore you in strength. Chosen one. You are not the same as when this began. The voice that trembled in the early hours of waiting now speaks with quiet conviction. The hands that once reached upward in desperation now carry the torch of purpose. The heart that once questioned its worth now beats in harmony with heaven's rhythm. You have become the very proof that endurance refines rather than ruins. But your vindication carries responsibility. The march of the vindicated is not for display, it is for deliverance. You are called to lead others who are still bound by misunderstanding, still trapped in cycles of self-doubt. Your story will serve as a map for them, a reminder that divine timing never fails, and that truth, no matter how buried, always resurrects. There is a holy stillness that follows you now, an authority that needs no introduction. It is the mark of those who have been tested and trusted. Heaven places a quiet crown upon the heads of the vindicated, not of gold, but of light. It cannot be seen with human eyes, yet the spiritual realm bows to it. You are not simply known, you are recognized. This recognition will draw others to you. Some will seek guidance, others comfort, and a few will simply want to stand in the presence of peace. Do not turn them away. The same grace that lifted you now flows through you. You have become a vessel of restoration, a walking sanctuary for weary souls. You do not need to preach loudly. Your presence will do the preaching, as the psalmist declared through divine revelation. Psalms chapter 37, verse 6. He will make your righteousness shine like the dawn, your vindication like the noonday sun. Those words now unfold around you. What once seemed hidden is now radiant. The truth that was once whispered about you now stands illuminated before all. The light that surrounds your life is not spotlight, it is sunrise. It does not blind. It reveals. It shows the world what heaven always saw in you. Yet even as the light grows, humility must anchor your heart. Remember that vindication is not the end. It is the beginning of stewardship. You are now responsible for the peace you carry, for the revelation you've been given. The temptation to speak from wounds instead of wisdom will still try to visit. But you must remember you no longer live from pain. You live from purpose. Chosen one, every battle you faced prepared you for this composure. Every betrayal taught you grace. Every false report trained you in discernment. Now you understand what it means to reign not as a ruler above others, but as a servant of divine order. The march of the vindicated is not a parade, it's a pilgrimage. And every step you take is sacred. You will feel heaven's rhythm guiding your pace. Sometimes it will call you to move swiftly and sometimes to pause. Do not resist either motion. The same God who walked with you through delay now leads you through destiny. His timing remains flawless and his purpose unshakable. The world will notice your peace before it hears your story. Some will ask, how did you remain calm through such storms? And you will smile. For words will never fully describe it. How do you explain to someone what it feels like when heaven itself vindicates you? You simply live as proof. Chosen one. The march continues not toward a throne of human applause, but toward a horizon of eternal purpose. Each stride affirms that the accusations no longer matter, the investigation no longer defines you, and the waiting was never wasted. You walk now not as one escaping from the past, but as one ordained to guide others into their own freedom. You are the living echo of a fulfilled promise, the embodiment of patience crowned by providence. Keep walking. The wind is behind you, the path is open, and heaven walks beside you. The path narrows now. Chosen one, the march that began in struggle is nearing its summit. Ahead of you, the air shimmers with light, not harsh or blinding, but soft and sovereign, like sunlight filtered through ancient glass. This is the moment heaven has been guiding you toward since the first silence, the unveiling of the crown and the countdown. You have walked through waiting, exposure, vindication, and assignment. And now the purpose of every hour comes into focus. The 2-hour delay that once confused you has become the key to understanding divine timing. You realize that heaven never wastes time. It consecrates it. Every second of that pause carried prophecy. God was not late. He was synchronizing eternity with your readiness. And now the clock strikes fulfillment. The countdown reaches its final breath, not to end something, but to inaugurate something eternal. You stand at the threshold of destiny's completion and destiny's continuation, both at once. Heaven's ways are circular, not linear. Endings and beginnings are always the same breath. You can feel the presence of heaven's witnesses, those who prayed for you, those who fought unseen battles on your behalf, the angels who guarded you in silence. They surround you now in quiet celebration. The atmosphere hums with joy, not because the war was easy, but because the warrior remained faithful. You did not break when it would have been easier to bend. You did not surrender when surrender looked sensible. You held the line when the world said, "Let go." The crown waiting for you is not one of jewels, but of recognition, God's acknowledgement that your faith endured the test of delay. It gleams with patience, humility, and obedience. It is a crown woven not from gold, but from grace. Heaven does not place crowns on those who win battles by strength, but on those who finish them with faith. You have become such a soul. You have learned to stand still without losing spirit, to speak softly while holding authority, to love when love felt undeserved. That is the royalty heaven honors, the quiet strength that needs no throne to rule. Chosen one. This is the completion of your refining, the sacred coronation of endurance. Heaven bends low to place upon your head what no man could grant, divine approval. You will sense it as peace that settles deep, as clarity that no confusion can shake. The inner war is over. You have reconciled your purpose with your pain. The two are no longer enemies. They are companions. The Spirit whispers now not a new command, but a remembrance. The 2-hour pause was heaven's final test of trust. When you waited without proof, you proved your worthiness. When you chose stillness over striving, heaven crowned you unseen. What you are receiving now is only the visible confirmation of what was already sealed in spirit. You look back, and the path behind you glows faintly, each trial a lantern, each prayer a spark. Together they form a road of light that others will follow. You were never walking for yourself alone. Every step was laying foundation for those who will come after you, the next chosen ones who will hear the same whisper, face the same silence, and find the same faithful God. The voice of God thundered in the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 10. Be faithful unto death, and I will give you the crown of life. That promise is now your reality. The crown is not a symbol of status, it is the seal of faithfulness. To wear it means to live as proof that endurance is stronger than envy, that love outlasts betrayal, and that time obeys those who trust heaven's pace. Now, chosen one, the countdown begins again, not toward delay, but toward destiny renewed. The seconds no longer mark waiting, they mark walking. Heaven's timing, once your greatest mystery, has now become your greatest ally. You no longer fear pauses, you use them. You no longer resent silence, you listen within it. You no longer dread exposure, you shine through it. Every number, every tick of heaven's unseen clock now moves in harmony with your heartbeat. The same divine rhythm that waited 2 hours to warn you now moves with you wherever you go. The delay that once broke you has become your authority. You are no longer measured by what you endured. You are defined by what you became through it. Chosen one. Your coronation is quiet. There is no trumpet, only truth. No crowd, only clarity. The same God who called you in silence now crowns you in stillness. And as the light settles over you, time itself seems to pause again, not to test, but to honor. Heaven salutes endurance. You lift your head, and though no human eyes see it, the realm of spirit bows. The crown rests upon you, not heavy, but holy. And in that instant, you understand the 2-hour wait was never a delay. It was destiny counting down to this very moment. Chosen one, the journey has reached its final breath. The crown rests upon you, the silence is behind you, and the story has come full circle. You have walked through fire and found faith, through delay and discovered destiny. Heaven waited 2 hours to speak, but eternity will echo the lessons learned in that pause. Now, as this message finds its way to your spirit, take a moment to breathe. Look at how far you've come. Every word written here, every revelation unveiled, was never coincidence, it was connection. You were meant to hear this, meant to rise, meant to remember that divine timing is never denial. If this journey has spoken to your soul, let it live beyond the screen. Like this message, not as routine, but as a signal to heaven. I receive it. Share it with someone walking through their own silence, someone who needs to know that waiting doesn't mean forgotten. Your share might be the lifeline that keeps another heart believing. Take a moment to comment your reflection below. What truth stood out? What part of the story mirrors your own? When you write it, you turn testimony into torchlight for others. Your words will travel farther than you think. And if your spirit feels called to stay within this river of revelation, subscribe so that you never miss what heaven releases next. This space is not a platform, it's a sanctuary, a meeting place between time and eternity, where the chosen gather to listen, learn, and live renewed. The story of God waited 2 hours to warn you is not over. It continues every time you choose light over fear, patience over panic, trust over turmoil. You are proof that heaven's delay is always divine design. Keep walking, radiant one. The world needs the glow you carry.